Hang on.
I bet you feel really good about yourself right now.
God, the stage fright really just got me.
Anyway, that was,
Just suck it.
anticlimactic. See, I told you we could just open the bottle before. It doesn't make a cool sound. Cleet really wanted to open it online.
Yeah.
Live, and it didn't do anything.
Usually you can get enough leverage with like a butter knife and you can open a bottle of beer like a boss. Not tonight, though.
I used a thing called a bottle opener. It's weird
Yeah.
they invented something for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the beer we have today is really cool looking. It's a big old bottle. It's called Double Skull.
Sorry, you mispronounced it. It's called Double Skull.
Double Skull.
God, this thing looks cool.
Doppelbock Lager, and it's the Exponential series. And the bottle says that it's only a few thousand bottles made. So I think we're pretty special.
Oh, that's cool. And it says on the side, release number 66. What number do you have?
What the hell?
Yeah.
Mine says 66 as well.
Oh, I thought it was an actual number. No, it's probably like the batch number or something.
Yeah, I think it's like box number 66.
8.3% alcohol by volume.
66 out of a few thousand. We got one of the earliest bottles.
Maybe it's the Devil's
Probably.
cast.
They just forgot another 6. You moaned while drinking it.
That's good.
Is it?
Yeah, I like it.
Pardon us while we just sit here and drink beer. Oh, man. That is good. Well, my wife picked it out, so I'll let her know. Did a really good job, hey? All right. So the new Dexter series started. You watched Dexter, right? Not Dexter's Lab.
Yeah, I used to watch Dexter. It was like the last TV series I ever tried to watch. It like ruined TV series for me.
It ended so shittily.
Yeah, I didn't get to the ending because I hate it when like there's just an overall structure to every season. It gets boring. Okay. I mean, I guess like the way I saw it, you could apply to like almost any series, but it's just like, hey, in this season, we sprinkle some crazy kills he has, and then you see this one guy who's going to be the main villain that you'll see be killed at the season finale, and you'll just kind of go in between little characters and see that big villain until the end of the season. It just got old.
Wow. All right. So when did you stop then? Like how many seasons in did you get?
I got to the season where they introduced like a wife or girlfriend for Dexter, and I know she was unpopular, and I think that was the season I stopped watching.
Well, he had the wife for the first few seasons.
Yeah, it was maybe season 4.
Season 4 was the best season in the entire show. Yeah,
whenever he got his wife. I don't know. I haven't watched it for 10 years.
Okay, so season 4, 1 through 4 was good. Then they got new writers, and it just went downhill. The new season that they just started up is the original writers. It's really good. So, I mean, they only have one episode as of recording this. The next one will be dropped when we post this. But I think you should check it out. It's really good. So if you like Dexter, it's like old school OG Dexter. It's really good.
It was same plot, different bodies.
Right. I mean, to a degree.
I was trying to be disturbing.
To a degree.
You were just like, yeah, that's
okay,
normal.
Sure. I just wanted to move past this because you're pissing me off. Just kidding.
That's an awesome explanation, though.
It is pretty good. But we also started watching Squid Games on Netflix. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm way late into it because I know half the world watched it and like, oh, it's the best thing. It's really good. I think we have like 2 episodes left. Should check it out. Lots of violence. No?
No, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, well. Anyway, Cleet's boring.
I was born in another time where I value literature more than videography.
You're just gonna read books?
Dude, I love reading books and writing. Like, it's my
What's
favorite
the last
thing.
book you read?
Well, it's not that I read books. I listen to audio. Audio.
Audiobooks.
Yeah.
I read so many books. I'm rereading the Harry Potter series now, just because. I read Stephen King's newest one. Like, I always read his new books in like a day and a half, 2 days maybe.
Okay. So, I have never reread a book twice. I can't do it. Like, I've tried. I've had a favorite book. I'm like, I'm gonna read this again, and I can't do it. I've
read several books several times.
Yeah.
I just don't think you found the right book is the problem.
No, I've read
when you
lots.
read a book, you're like, man, that was really good. I mean, it's always after like 10 years that I go back.
My favorite book that I've tried to reread that was horror themed is The Long Walk by Stephen King. I love that book.
That's a good one.
I loved it. I tried to reread it, and I just can't do it.
Well, I mean, it kind of takes the mystery out of it when you know what's coming. But I mean, I can kind of see that. But it's just been a while since I read some of these, so I came back. But But anyway, so we are starting like kind of like a new series, I guess you'd call it.
Yes, I am so excited for this series. You guys are in for a treat. So what this is on 4chan and Reddit forums, people come up with things called icebergs, and it's where they have like certain theories about whether it's a television show or some type of theory, or it can be anything, but it's called an iceberg theory. So they pick a subject, and I don't know if you guys know anything about icebergs, but icebergs at the top is really a small percentage of what you see of an iceberg is a real small percentage of the actual structure, right? Maybe 10% on the surface, while 90% is dormant in the ocean.
Well, and the 10% too is usually most people know about it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, oh, I know about that. Like if you're talking about movies, you're like, most people will know the top 10%, but then as you get more obscure, you're like, ooh, I don't know if I know that one. And then it just gets darker and darker.
Yes, the further down you go into the depths of the berg, you see the light and the water become darker and darker until it all gets black. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you have entered the abyss.
Damn. That was unscripted. That was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to give it up to you there, Clete. That was awesome. So this particular iceberg that we're starting with has to do with, drumroll, conspiracy theories.
Yeah. So there's going to be, 9 tiers?
Oh, there's a lot. And each tier has like several dozen of just these little conspiracy theories. So, I mean, just because of the enormous amount of content that we have, we're not really going to be spending too much time diving into like what these things are, but more of a 60,000 foot view of just saying, hey, this is a conspiracy theory, this is what it entails, maybe a story or two here and there, and then just going to kind of cruise on through. Some of these we've talked about in other episodes, but we're just going to be going through that list and hitting every single one of them.
Right. So I was wrong on the number of tiers. Technically there's 9 tiers, but there's also tier 0 at the end. But yeah, so we're going to jump into tier 1, which is labeled Crazyhead. And I'm going to read off exactly what this is. So tier 1 is mainstream conspiracies and unsolved mysteries. Most of the stuff is well documented and known to a good portion of Western civilizations. A lot of common theories may be grouped in broader terms or may not even appear on the chart at all, considering their meaning and popularity. Quick note on here. Some of this stuff can be quite...
Jesus Christ, dude.
Some of this stuff can be quite controversial in today's day and age. Right. And we just want to say that we're not telling anyone what to do medically. If you have any medical questions, please consult your doctor for any questions.
Right. There are some political things in here too. Literally, we are just talking about these theories. And so, again, we're not taking any sides. We're literally just going to talk about what the conspiracy theory is, where it kind of originated from, what it is. So again, if there's anything that you want to know more about, or if you have, one opinion or one opinion or another, want to do more research, there's a lot of research available. But yeah, we're taking Switzerland on this one.
I like that. We're just going to be completely neutral. Neutronians. And last thing, this is going to be a long series, and a lot of these are interconnected, and we'll kind of touch this in future episodes. So just remember what we cover, and we might in future episodes reference some theories before.
Right, exactly.
Let's get into it, Britton.
All right, you want me to kick it off, huh? So the first conspiracy theory falls in the form of fake news.
Never heard that term before in the U.S.
Never. Fake news is just not a thing.
You want to know where I get my news?
The news channel.
North Korea, baby. What? The PK, because they're like super biased. Yeah. Like it's like explicitly like state-owned news.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't look at any of that stuff. I'm not opinionated there.
North Korea, baby.
So the basic concept of fake news is that something in the media or the news is deemed false, pretty much. So there's a lot of different reasons why fake news would be distributed, right? You can name a few, like whether it be to get a reaction out of the reader and make you feel a certain way about something, or just to make profit by getting hundreds and thousands of people clicking on a certain link. But I mean, you think about it, it's super easy nowadays to share any kind of news, right? It's a simple share button, or you copy a like and you send it there, and you copy a link and you email it off, and you have all these chains, and you have like TikTok and all these crazy things, and it's just really easy to get news out there. So again, the concept of fake news is an author trying to get a feeling or a certain rise out of a certain group of people by posting fake news.
Right. It's crazy how quickly information like spreads and what it used to be like, especially in this day and age. You know, back then it just used to be like TV, but now like even just apps, like you can literally communicate to anybody you want within the world. I don't know, the dissemination of information is just growing and it's crazy.
Right. And I mean, you can always get into, kind of spreading off of the whole fake news, but it's just like any news and any kind of distribution of, you hear of cancel culture anymore, right? Oh, cancel this person, cancel that. It's just like you have so many things. Social media will take an idea and will expand it in a matter of seconds. Like you can post a simple sentence on there thinking, oh, this will be funny. And before you know it, you could be broadcast millions of miles across the planet with the snap of a finger. It's crazy. So anyway, fake news. That's the first one.
All right.
Okay. Second one is cryptids. We love cryptids on our channel. Now we've covered definitely our fair share of cryptids on the show, but yet we've barely covered the tip of the iceberg. See what I did there?
When I first actually met Britton, I thought he was a cryptid. The man looks like a Yeti.
Yeah. Bigfoot was my dad.
Your poor mom.
She's never been the same. She went camping and guy just ripped through the tent. But anyway, there are thousands upon thousands of cryptids out there. But what is a cryptid? What would you describe a cryptid as being? Well, a cryptid is an animal that has been claimed to exist, but has never actually been proven to exist. So you've got your Bigfoot, you've got your Loch Ness Monster, you've got Cleet's mom.
You son of a bitch.
But yeah, there are hundreds of thousands of cryptids that we could cover. But it is in of itself a conspiracy theory. You believe that it exists or that it doesn't exist. So usually the cryptids are stories told via urban legends or ghost stories, but there are many who actually believe in the existence of these creatures. And you have a lot of pictures floating around online, usually blurry, right? A lot of people saying, oh, I found Bigfoot in the woods, or I found a nest here and there. And again, we've covered so many of these cryptids. We did a whole urban legend series on our show too, so we covered a lot of it. But I think it would be cool to see a cryptid firsthand. But
here's a question. When do grains of sand become a heap? So what I'm saying is, creatures evolve, right? And what drives evolution? Pressure in the environment. Humans pressure the environment more than species have generally seen in the past.
So they have to evolve to survive.
Exactly. So when does species offshoot into another thing, right? Sometimes we think on shorter terms, but sometimes evolution can happen at a quicker pace because of pressures within the environment,
like deforestation.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if somehow cryptids could be seen from like another species that's evolved to live with humans or something like that. They talk about the chupacabra. Yeah. They talk about a hairless dog that just
in Mexico.
Kills animals, right? Maybe that's just an evolved monster that lives with like humans raising cattle. I don't know.
It could be. You're not wrong. Or maybe we just pressure the environment into actually making these cryptids real.
Or we just all the species die because of people. Sad.
That's also very likely. But anyway, so that's cryptids. So again, I know we're just 60,000 feet above, but a lot of these are those conspiracy theories that are floating around. And the last one I'll end with before we switch over to, and the last one I'll cover before I switch over for Cleet is Big Pharma.
Everybody loves Big Pharma.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Big Pharma is so popular. So the theory states that the medical community, along with pharmaceutical communities, including large corporations, operate using sinister means by concealing effective treatments or cause and worsen diseases. So they have all the answers. They have the cures to these things, but they choose to keep them secret. Why would they do that?
Would you rather have a one-time lump sum payment or reoccurring payments?
That's it. It's money, right? So you can conceal something and do these constant, just small treatments and just keep searching for the answer and profiting off of it. Or you can give it out there and get a huge payment once, like you said, and be done with it. So like they have answers to several diseases and illnesses, but choose to keep them hidden. Big one here is the cure for cancer. Many believe that they have the cure for cancer, but just like you said, they're keeping it disclosed from the public. Why? So they can do these cancer treatments and profit off of them.
Do you believe it?
No. Well,
Yeah.
well, let me. I don't. So, I don't know. Again, I'm playing Switzerland here because I'm not educated enough to have an actual opinion on this whole thing. But I don't know. It's like I Am Legend. You know, the cure for cancer just turned everyone into those mutant things. Could happen. I don't know. I think that there might be some things. I think the cure for cancer is a big one. I hope that one day we do have that, and I hope that people can live through it, because watching my grandma and several people I know go through that and pass is a really big struggle. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Specifically cancer, I think it's so complex, more than people really realize. I mean, so there's so many different types of cancer.
Right. So many different strands.
And I think it could be true in certain circumstances, but as a whole, like if I were to put a test to the whole medical community, I don't believe it. I really don't.
You don't believe the big pharma thing?
No.
I don't either. I mean, there might be some things here and there, like, I don't know, and we'll talk about it later, obviously, but the whole vaccine thing comes into play. Maybe there are some things that they know that they're kind of withholding, but I don't know. I like to think that the humanitarian side would be like, yeah, we have this stuff, let's just get people well, rather than, oh, I'm just going to make a big buck. But they're making lots of money.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't believe in it either. Again, Switzerland, we're just talking about this thing. That is one of those theories that's out there, and it's a very predominant one. So, all right, Cleet, what are the ones you're covering?
All right. The first one I will cover is Atlantis.
The city in the sea.
The city of angels. That's wrong.
It's
That's
very
Los
wrong.
Angeles.
City of angels.
Cue Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I don't think they sang that.
The city of angels,
Oh, yeah.
lonely as I. All right. Back to Atlantis. Atlantis first appeared in Plato's writings in 360 BCE. The legend of Atlantis was that it was populated by an advanced society which perished after the island subcontinent was submerged beneath the waters of the Atlantic Ocean. Somewhere past the Pillars of Hercules is where it happened. Edward Case, which we covered in previous episodes, he's an American psychic, and people wrote shit down when he was sleeping, said that Atlanteans used crystals to condense light and send energy to remote home devices, as well as ships and air vehicles that use the same technology, and they would purify water and the earth with this said energy.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you think, because you said that it was inhabited by an advanced society, do you think that they chose to be under the ocean, to be away from all of us idiots?
No. I mean, the mythology of Atlantis is it was a sudden thing.
Right.
And it was
But they're an advanced society.
unplanned, and they got murdered.
That's what they want you to believe.
Most societies, no matter how advanced historically, have fallen.
That's true. Now, I've always liked the idea of Atlantis, just this city underneath the ocean.
Utopia. I like that word. All right. It is also said they used large crystals focused energy from the sky to produce electricity. I think that's interesting. Because it's like solar
their version
panels.
of a solar panel.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. We're going to keep it brief. I mean, if we want to do like an Atlantis episode, we can.
Yeah, a lot of these we can definitely come back to, because again, there's so many, like, there's so much lore behind a lot of this stuff. We just wanted to just touch base on these.
All right, so the next one is Nostradamus.
Ah.
Nostradamus studied medicine and became a physician, treating plague victims throughout France and Italy. He began to practice the occult and make predictions of the future, which he published in The Prophecies. Many people today believe his predictions have come true or will in the future. I picked one out that I thought was really cool, so I'm going to read it to you guys.
So before you do that, though, is this conspiracy theory that Nostradamus was not real? Or is
No, he's real, yeah. And
but what's the conspiracy theory behind it?
That the conspiracy theory is that his predictions are coming true, and that we need to read them to understand the future.
I see. Okay.
People think that he predicted the rise of Hitler and Germany in World War II, and a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So let's go. Here's the prediction that I liked. Basically, he predicted future zombies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Future zombies.
So I'm gonna
Like
read what he
robot
wrote.
Zombies.
I'm gonna read what he wrote because you're gonna know. You've heard this quote before. You just didn't know it. Not far from the age of the millennium, when there is no more room in hell, the buried shall come out of their grave. And that's it.
The dead shall walk the earth.
Yeah. That's from George Romero.
Yeah.
Right? The zombie guy.
Day of the Dead.
Yeah. All right, and the last one I went over is climate denial.
False.
Did
Fake
you do
news.
it? Did you do it, Britain?
No.
You changed the climate, you little bastard?
I wanted it to be sunny today.
So this conspiracy theory is predicated on the fact of the idea of large organizations that benefit from non-renewable energy consumption fund organizations or scientists to claim that climate change isn't real, or they fund studies that are biased. That's it.
Right. Yeah. Another one that you could get so deep into, but again, I think this is one of the ones that everybody knows. Like
Yeah.
Climate change and the denial. I mean, I don't know. Everybody knows that one. So, all right, back to me then. So we'll start off with chemtrails.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
That's all you have? Yeah. There's really chemtrails in the sky.
Chemtrails. The end. No. So I mean, think about it. We've all gazed up at the sky several times, following the puffy white lines left behind by planes soaring through the blue expanse over our heads.
That was so pretty.
Right? Just daydreaming, not a care in the
Just thinking about
world.
your future and how great everything is.
I hope so. These condensation trails are left behind when high-flying aircraft cruise through certain atmospheric conditions. However, some theorists believe these trails to be full of harmful chemicals or biological agents that are being spread to the general public without warning.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's going to make you think about that again, right? You're looking up there going, oh, man.
Evil sky dust.
Evil sky dust. I like that.
Yeah.
Evil sky dust. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. These theorists state that most trails disappear quickly, but the ones that linger must have additional substances, right? So when you think about that, why? Why would that even be happening? What possible cause could they have for just dispersing these chemicals throughout the air? These theorists, when asked, suggest that it could have something to do with either solar radiation management, weather modification, psychological manipulation, human population control, and even chemical warfare.
Neat.
Yeah. So when you ask them, like, yeah, we're just getting too populated, so they just fly a couple planes over and just gets rid of the problem right then and there. This claim has been dismissed by the scientific community, and no evidence shows chemicals being dispersed via these trails. But you never know.
Neat.
So that's the chemtrail conspiracy theory, is that planes are just dropping, dirty dust everywhere. So, all right. So the next one, again, we're jumping back into medical stuff. Again, if you have any questions, please consult your doctor. We're going to jump into the whole vaccine.
Yeah, we're not doctors. I know it might be surprising.
Absolutely not doctors. I am nowhere near smart enough to be a doctor. I wish I got paid like a doctor did, but I do not.
We're two random dudes on the internet.
Super random. So this is a big one, and I think we've all heard this one several times, especially recently with this big old special flu going around. Much like the big pharma theory, there are those that believe the effects of vaccines and their harmful nature are being hidden from the population.
Ooh.
Right? The big reason here, again, is for
Profit.
As they are said to hide the damaging aspects of vaccines so they can continue to administer them while receiving financial gain. I mean, that's just the big idea, right? Hey, what are you pumping into me? You're just changing DNA, all that stuff. That's just the theory behind it. Again, Switzerland here, they were just giving information. Interesting fact, though, the belief on this theory is the highest in South Africa with 57%. Lowest is in Denmark at 14%. All I know is that doctors and scientists have spent so long doing studies with medicines and vaccines that I have never taken a medical class. So, yeah, I'm not a doctor. The doctor says get a vaccine. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's just kind of where I'm at. But again, same thing. Vaccines and everything, a lot of people are this is another very big prominent one. Some people are very passionate about whether or not to get vaccines. Again, just consult your doctor.
Yeah, if you have any questions, consult your doctor and make a decision from there.
All right. Next one is another one of my favorites. I know we already talked about cryptids, but we're going to jump into UFOs.
I did that so bad. X-File music.
I know you were going for a whistle, but it was just like a breath. Just... You need a whistling class, bud.
Yeah, I was
urban legend, whistling.
the whistling man.
The whistle.
The bloody whistle.
So again, I really like this urban legend because it's one that I think is fascinating to think about, and I can almost get behind it. Maybe not the UFOs you think about. It's like a flying dinner plate with like a little dome on top.
That looks like a dinner saucer.
Right. We all know what a UFO is, and they've been shown in various ways through media and entertainment, right? You've got all these different, viewings of UFOs, mostly depicted as a sort of flying saucer, like a huge dinner plate. These flying saucers have been reported all around the world, and much like cryptids, you can find several videos or blurry photos all over the internet.
Did I tell you that story, Britton?
Which story?
I was driving down a road, surrounded by trees, and I was listening to some country music. It was good, some good music.
And also, I lost 5 hours.
Also, my radio went out, and my engine died, and they touched me.
I hope they got what they needed, and I hope it wasn't too much touching. But the ideas of UFOs, to me, honestly, I think I've shared it on the show, and I've talked to Clete about it several times. Actually, they kind of terrify me. Some of my worst nightmares have been involving aliens and UFOs, and they're always attacking. Like, I'm doing something, I'm at a fair, or I'm like with my family, and all of a sudden you can just see in the sky like hundreds of UFOs come down, and it just terrifies the shit out of me. I hate it.
Of all the paranormal stuff, UFOs scare me the most.
Right. Well, I mean, because it's, you think of like ghosts and stuff, right? Not to like jump ahead, or that might come down later, but like, I know a lot of people are like, ghosts not real, but like, we're on one little planet in this massive, endless galaxy.
Trip.
Like, it's stupid to think there's not other life out there, right? And, maybe they haven't visited us yet. Maybe they never will. You never know, but like, the idea that we're the only ones in the galaxy is just it's just too silly to me. So yeah. I don't know. I think UFOs are a really cool idea. I really like them. They scare me, but again, that's another very big popular conspiracy theory.
Yep.
Let us know what you guys think, because I really want to know how you all feel about UFOs and all that stuff.
I believe in beefaloes. All right. This one is called the Mandela Effect. The term Mandela Effect was first coined in 2009 by Fiona Broom.
Broom? Was she a witch?
Maybe. When she created a website to detail her observance of the phenomenon. Broom was at a conference talking with other people about how she remembered the tragedy of the former South African president Nelson Mandela's death in the South African prison in the 1980s. Many other people remember this event, and it is coined as a collective false memory.
Huh.
People speculate that the collective memory is a group of people that actually lived in an alternative universe where this took place.
Wow.
But they shifted to another one. There's many popular examples of this in our culture. So I picked a few out. The first one I picked was Oscar Mayer, because I know you love wieners, Britton.
Oscar Mayer,
You're a big wiener fan.
I mean, how can you not be?
Yeah, some people love wieners.
Might be a conspiracy theory there, the wiener effect, but...
It's hard to come by.
It's one of those long theories.
So the controversy of the Oscar Mayer wiener is...
Is it really Oscar Mayer wiener?
Yeah. Well, no, it's over the spelling of the famous brand of hot dogs, Oscar Mayer wieners. Some people claim they remember the brand being called or spelled Meyer as M-E-Y-E-R instead of what it really is, which is Mayer, M-A-Y-E-R. So there's a big controversy over the wiener's name.
That reminds me of like the Berenstain Bears books.
Yeah, that'll come actually later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I won't go to... Oh, yeah, you have it right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
The next one, because I picked these out particularly for you, Britton.
Okay.
So the next one is
special.
Is Shazam.
Like the superhero.
Yeah.
Shazam!
So one of the most well-known examples of the Mandela Effect is the collective memory of the movie called Shazam! It's not actually the hero, right? You're wrong. But it starred the actor-comedian Sinbad in the 1990s. Wow. In fact, no such movie exists, although there was a children's movie called Kazam, so I lied. I lied.
You liar.
And some other coincidences that could explain this movie became created or remembered in many people's minds.
Huh. Shazam is actually a really good movie. And, like, to be able to change back to a child and redo your life again would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be.
I would just invest in Microsoft. I'd buy, land.
You buy land.
In the popular areas in Utah.
All right, the last one is the Berenstain Bears.
The Berenstain, this one.
Berenstain Bears.
I knew about, because this one, I swear to God, this one is a lie.
Yeah, maybe you're from an alternate universe.
It must be, because I don't. Yeah, you go through.
Yeah, so this is a famous children's book series. I remember seeing it when I was a kid. I mean, I don't know why I remember that so much, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a lot of kids' books, but I remember that book.
Yeah.
And it was actually spelled the Berenstain Bears. Stain.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Many people remember the spelling, though. Berenstain.
Yes.
So Stein.
That's how I remember it. See, the thing is so again, I know I talked about it. My toddler now, we read him a book before bed every single night. And a lot of these books were hand-me-downs, and they're Berenstain Bears. And I'm like, there's no way. And my wife's like, no, it's Berenstain. I'm like, no, it's not. I don't remember Berenstain. I really don't. It's Berenstain. It was always Berenstain.
Britton, I need you to ask me a question. Live.
Okay.
What happened to my alternate universe? Say it.
What happened to my alternate universe, Cleet?
Go back to where you came, Britton.
Shit. So I'm in the universe where Berenstain is a thing, but now I'm stuck in Berenstains.
Yeah, we're not very welcome people here. We
I don't
want them
like
to go back.
that. No, literally, that one I can relate to 100%, because when I literally in my adult life found out it was Berenstain, it destroyed me. I had a terrible day. I was not happy.
He went on a 2-week bender just drinking. He's questioning reality. He didn't know what the point of life was.
I picked up hard drugs for a minute.
God. Britton actually left the room. Should I follow him? Is he okay? He looked distraught.
Fuck this shit.
The next one is Malaysia Airlines Flight 370.
Oh,
Nothing controversial about this, right?
At all.
So, just quick reminder, plane took off, and it fucking disappeared.
Just gone.
Nobody found this box.
Doesn't
this plane? No, I'm sorry. They had a box in the plane that was supposed to track where everything went. It's supposed to.
When did this plane become a box?
I don't know, man.
The planes don't just disappear often.
Shit got real.
Really real.
So people are saying, in this day and age, how can a whole freaking plane full of people just disappear?
Same way you can change Berenstain to Berenstains.
They went to an alternate universe where they had that book right.
Yeah.
I just actually listed some theories of what could have possibly happened to that plane that people have speculated on the internet.
I think we might actually go into this one a little bit more, because I really do like this story.
Yeah, I would love to. So the first theory is the U.S. military shot it down.
Why?
So the atoll of Diego Garcia, complete with a military base, is located in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Your fucking cat is so loud.
She never eats, too. She never eats in here.
Until now.
One theory suggests that the plane was headed there on some sort of kamikaze mission, and it was secretly shot down by the U.S. military before it could reach its target.
Okay.
The Americans would have faked the satellite data and scooped every last bit of debris to keep the fate of the plane and its passengers secret. This is one particularly unlikely, since the cleanup of the airplane would have taken way too many people to keep things quiet.
Right.
So the idea is someone took over the plane, they're going to crash into this military base, and the U.S. is well, we need to shoot it down, but they're going to kill a bunch of innocent people.
Right.
Right? That would not be good publicity.
No. And like you said, you can't just have 2 or 3 people out there picking up a whole plane crash. You'd have to have way too many people out there, and someone would be like, yeah, it was shot down.
Yeah.
So.
I thought I had another one. I thought I had 3. What the fuck?
Faked flight
You
plan.
know
Satanism. There's 3. Or Satanism, another one.
Nah. Satan did it.
Satan hijacked it. People say Jesus take the wheel. Satan take the wheel.
Satan take the wheel, make me rich. All right. Another theory was proposed by a newscaster where it flew into a black hole. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Just a black
hole. It was just a
on
preposterous question asked to an expert who said, yeah, it probably didn't happen. But nobody knows where
the same black hole that Amelia Earhart flew into?
No one knows where this plane went, and maybe we'll cover it in a future episode.
Literally 60,000 feet on that one. Okay.
All right. The last topic I will cover till we go to Britain is Satanism.
Oh.
Yeah. Satan, take the wheel. So this one was like so broad, I didn't really know what to cover, to be honest.
There's you get like the satanic panic thing, all sorts of stuff.
In the 70s, but anyways, so Satanism can be described as using the dark arts to achieve certain goals in life, whether it being power or money.
Or climax.
I mean, you just take Viagra, Britain, if you need it. When looking at the dark arts, we can look no other to the magician, Aleister Crowley. Do you know Aleister Crowley?
Mr. Crowley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was written about him. Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't the other Mr. Crowley?
There's probably a lot of Crowleys. It's a last name. Now, Crowley wasn't a Satanist, but if you study the magic or the occult, which he was extremely immersed in, he didn't dismiss really creepy things that happen within Satanism that give people that practice the occult a lot of power. That is to say that his assertion that there is power and intent in Satanism when it comes to possibly sacrificing children, because people believe that's like what Satanists do. It's called the Black Mass, if you've ever heard of that.
Yep.
And he wouldn't put it past people that follow what he calls the left-hand path, which is people that study magic, black magic. Now, if we were to suppose that people that study also believe in Satanism, they may actually sacrifice children for power. So the question is, if people do practice this, dark arts and Satanism, how high does it go up through the hierarchical structure of any society? Right? I mean, would you dismiss that it's ever happened, ever, in the history of mankind? Could you dismiss that fact?
No.
So people believe that magic exists, okay? And that you do rituals to make ritual magic. There's things like sexual magic and other things like that. But Crowley wouldn't dismiss the fact that killing people causes magic.
Are we going to talk about this sexual magic a little bit more?
Nope. We're going to the worst part.
Damn it.
And then we're going, and then he would say that there's specific magic and like hurting people, like killing them. And like
torture magic.
Certain groups of people, like kids.
So we're going to jump into skinwalkers.
Oof.
And or goat men. So what the hell is a skinwalker?
It's called goat people, Britain. We're in 2021.
Skinwalkers or goat people. Thanks for the clarification.
No problem.
So, I know I keep saying this, but this is also another favorite of mine because we covered one of the most notorious skinwalkers, which would be the Wendigo, on a previous episode. A skinwalker is derived from Navajo culture and is described as a witch who can turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. The goat men side of things, or the goat people side of things, is a little different, and it's described as a creature resembling a goat-human hybrid that is often credited with canine deaths and takes refuge in the woods of Prince George's County, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
So the skinwalkers are actually pretty crazy because, like, the lore behind them, as we covered in our previous episode, is, they can mimic certain voices to call for help. So it's like you could hear a voice of someone you really love, and it pulls you like deep into the woods or wherever you're at and like kills you, essentially. So skinwalkers are really, really prominent skinwalker lore and urban legend thing. We also covered Skinwalker Ranch. I think that you were the one who covered that one, which is it's like one of the most haunted, bizarre places on earth.
Yeah, I'd like to go there one day.
Yeah. You have to be rich, like Post Malone, because if you got money, they just let you through the gate. But like randos like you and I, they'd be like, just get the fuck out of here.
Fucking Post
Malone. We
Malone.
don't need you in here.
We got to start writing love songs, Britain.
Hey, look, I mean, I don't listen to his music, but he's a great guy. I mean, he lives here in Utah.
Yeah, thanks.
Part-time, at least.
Thanks, Mr. Malone.
Thanks, Mr. Malone. But yeah, so that's a skinwalker and a goat man. Again, this is one of the ones we've really covered in depth previously, so I don't want to go too much into it. But the next one is going to be GMOs. GMOs.
I love GMOs, man. They taste great.
Genetically modified organisms. What does a GMO do, Cleet? Why do you like GMOs? Tell us.
I just eat GMOs and I think they taste good. They're genetically modified organisms.
Right. So this theory revolves around the production and sale of genetically modified crops and genetically modified foods. The theorists on this one state that agribusinesses suppress and hide data that GMOs cause harm. Because obviously they're going to say that, hey, it's great. We're just adding things to your food. It's just fine. Don't worry about it. These theorists are like, no, it causes a lot of harm. They have also said that GMOs deliberately cause food shortages and promote the use of GM food. One of the biggest instances of this theory stemmed from something called the Seralini Affair, which was a retraction of a paper indicating GMOs had harmful effects on lab rats. Theorists claim the retraction of this paper was just another method of hiding the truth and making us think everything was okay.
Everything's okay. Keep eating your corn and tomatoes.
Tomatoes?
Tomatoes.
I've never had a tomato in my
when
life.
you mix tomatoes and potatoes.
I hate tomatoes. I love potatoes.
You hate tomatoes?
Tomato.
The fuck?
I like salsa. I can't eat a raw
so
tomato.
You like tomatoes then?
I can't.
Like salsa.
I don't put it on the burger. I don't have raw tomato. But if it's in things, I'm okay with it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah. No, I don't know. So again, this is just another thing of there's some people that think that GMOs really are harmful and that the big corporations are just saying, hey, it's not. It's fine. We're good. But, you get the whole organic thing and all that stuff. There's an organic section in the grocery store compared to not. So, and a lot of the boxes you get say no GMO or GMO free or whatever. So, again, there's a market for it and everything. But GMO is a very big conspiracy theory. So,
you want to know why I'm afraid of GMOs?
What's that?
Do you know that the bananas eaten 70 years ago aren't the same bananas we eat now?
Yeah, because they have spiders in them.
No, it's because they were all they all were susceptible to a certain disease and they all died.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Brazil banana trade just went down until they picked a different species of banana. But if we're all just selling the same type of agricultural product, it's genetically identical to each other, what happens if a certain pathogen enters that environment and just decimates a crop yield throughout a whole country or even a global system because we're using the same genes of some super plant. Right. And then we're just fucked.
And you can't just get rid of bananas. How are you going to make banana bread?
Yeah, no, the
Arguably
bananas
one of the best thing in the world.
What I hear is, and they still have this banana type, I want to try it because they say it was way better than the yellow banana. I think it was green originally.
That's called a plantain.
No, it's literally was a banana.
An actual green banana.
I could be wrong on the color, but I hear the flavor was it was super flavorful.
Yeah. I like bananas. My son likes bananas. Bananas are great. I think they're good. Put them in a peanut butter and honey sandwich. It's delicious. All right, so the next one I have is Pizzagate.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm sure you haven't.
I'm sure it's a small theory.
So on this one, again, I know we've talked about it before, but trigger warning a little bit. This one does dive into some pretty heavy material. So the Pizzagate theory went viral during the 2016 United States presidential election cycle, in which the personal email account of John Podesta, who was Hillary Clinton's campaign chair, was hacked. This theory went on to state that the emails contained coded messages that connected several high-ranking Democratic Party members and U.S. restaurants with an alleged human trafficking and child sex ring. Among the establishments was the Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria in Washington, D.C. This conspiracy was spread rapidly through social media outlets such as 4chan, 8chan, and Twitter, and a man from North Carolina decided to travel to the Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria to investigate on his own, firing a rifle inside the restaurant to break the lock on a storage room. The owner of the restaurant and several staff members also received death threats. Very quick, just touch base on that one, and we'll just move on. Was that my third one? All right, so now back to you there, Cleet.
All right, so media control. So we'll be quick on this. But what's media control?
When you control the media.
This is the idea of framing, right? Framing a situation. So the media provides specific information or hides or censors it. The overall goal is to create a framework that is informative info, or it does misinformation, or just outright ignores a specific fact to affect the overall public opinion. A lot of people think that the powerful control the media, and that's the people spinning the narrative to the masses. I'll end with that.
Nice. Okay.
Let's talk about orbs.
Orbs. I love orbs.
We've all seen orbs in pictures and thought, the fuck?
Is that a piece of dust or a butterfly?
No, we thought, the fuck?
The fuck?
So the most simple explanation of these orbs are their ghosts, right? Maybe. I doubt it.
That is the most simple explanation. There's nothing more simple. Nothing. The simplest thing is, I have captured something dead.
I'm kidding. So a lot of people think that these orbs are ghosts that show them
Most of the people.
that manifest themselves in forms of light.
Is my house just dusty? No, you just got a lot of dead people in here.
Well, it could be true. So I just gotta restart all this. So I read on a forum that these orbs are ghosts, but they can also be just the general overabundance of spiritual energy. And they were saying that graveyards especially are orb hotspots, and photos taken in graveyards can show dozens of orbs. I was just thinking of that. Like, what if you're in a graveyard and you just take a picture and all you see is orbs?
Just orbs.
You're like, get the fuck out, get the fuck out.
I thought you were going to say, like, when they're like, yeah, it could be a ghost, or I thought you were going to say, oh, it could be dust, could be an insect,
Nope.
could be a fly. It's like, it could be ghost or just an extreme presence of supernatural energy.
Yeah, what
One
would
or
you
the
do?
other.
You just take a photo and it's just orbs. Like, I would probably leave
Yeah,
wherever I was.
yeah. I mean, if you're in the graveyard, though, and maybe there's a slight wind, then maybe it is dusty. But if, like, you just snap a picture on a cool night, no breeze, and it's just orbs 100 places, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out.
It's just like an orb smiley face.
Nope.
Or just a bunch of orbs that spell, get out.
I wish that they would manifest themselves in something a little bit cooler than an orb.
It's like, what does this picture mean? Well, it spells get out, and I don't know.
I don't know what else you want. It's literally telling you what it wants to do.
The next one I'll cover is the reptilian and government theories.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love this one.
Lizardman.
It's one of my favorites. The basis of the reptilian elite theory is that in ancient times, a group of advanced reptiles from the Alpha Draconis star system
Oh.
came to Earth and infiltrated the governments of the ancient civilizations in order to control all humans and enslave them and become their rulers, and bred with other humans to form crossbreeds
Wow.
so that their DNA can infiltrate the minds of humans.
So it's like lizard human people.
Yeah, lizard people.
Lizard people.
Reminds me of your mom. With their DNA inside our system, they can control us by making us dumber, slower, and weaker, and therefore easier to control. Hey, Bryn, here's a natty light. Have fun. Go
I
get
feel
him.
like I have like reptilian genes in me.
Yeah, maybe. Evidence for this reptilian DNA in us comes from the fact that in the early stages, developing embryos look a lot like reptiles and could be classified as such. Furthermore, the oldest part of our brain, which control the most primal functions of instincts, is called the reptilian brain because it's made of the structures that the reptilian brain consists of, which are the brainstem and the cerebellum.
Good old cerebellum. All right, so let's talk about a little something called New World Order. This theory talks of a secretly emerging totalitarian world government. Ultimately, the belief here is that a secretive power elite with a globalist agenda is conspiring to rule the world through an authoritarian one world government. This will replace sovereign nation states. There have been many influential historical and contemporary figures that have been alleged to be a part of this order, and some political scientists are concerned that mass hysteria over the New World Order conspiracy theories could eventually have devastating effects on American political life, ranging from escalating lone wolf terrorism to the rise to power of the authoritarian ultranationalist demagogues. In layman's terms, theorists believe that eventually there are those that will rise up to have one governing order to the entire world. Moving on. So this one is actually really cool. It's the Nibiru Cataclysm. You know this one?
Planet 9, baby.
Planet X.
Yeah. I guess Pluto's not a planet anymore.
Back in the day. So this Nibiru Cataclysm is a supposed disastrous encounter between Earth and a large planetary object, either by collision or near miss. Most believed that this would take effect in the early 21st century, which it didn't, thank God. The believers in this theory or doomsday event refer to the object as Nibiru or Planet X. This idea first surfaced in 1995 by Nancy Leader, who was the founder of the website ZetaTalk. Did you subscribe to Zeta Talk?
Never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Leader claimed to be a contactee, which means that she can receive messages from extraterrestrials from the Zeta Reticuli star system via an let me do that again.
Like breast implants.
Her titties can communicate with aliens.
Hot.
Leader claimed to be a contactee, which means that she can receive messages from extraterrestrials from the Zeta Reticuli star system via an implant in her brain. Or her breasts, you never know. She claimed that she herself was chosen to warn mankind of this impending doom, and that the object would pass through the inner solar system in May of 2003, which would cause Earth to go through a physical pole shift, destroying most of humanity.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah. I think we're all happy. 2003 came and went. We're now 2021. I think we're all okay. Okay being, subjective here. This idea was embraced quickly online and eventually was delayed to the 2012 phenomenon. Did you ever watch the movie 2012 with John Cusack? The end of the world, he's driving as the roads are collapsing, jumps through a parking garage.
Nope.
It's kind of crazy. Anyway, this theory is not supported by any scientific evidence, but theorists are certain that this collision will take place sometime in the future.
We're doomed.
I mean, maybe sometime. Look, we're in a vast expanse of galaxy with things moving around all the time. It's not impossible, but didn't happen when they said. So that's that. And then before I pass it off, once again, let's end on Area 51.
Never heard of it.
Never.
I'm a Naruto run out of here.
So again, I don't think this one really needs any introduction. I think everybody knows what Area 51 is or what it's suspected to be. It's a highly classified United States Air Force base that is said to house proof of aliens and UFOs and all that good stuff. The amount of UFO folklore that surrounds this area is astounding and literally would take weeks to cover, but that's just kind of like the hot spot for alien activity. The base itself has never been declared a secret base. However, the research and occurrences housed there are all listed as top secret or sensitive compartmented information, or TS-SCI. So, do you remember the whole Storm Area 51 movement in 2019?
Yeah, we're going to Naruto run there.
Yeah. I think that was hilarious. They had 2 million people RSVP. And so because of how popular it got, the FBI showed up to the guy's house to investigate, the creator.
Funny.
And he's like, dude, it's like a joke. So it ended up just turning into some big music festival with alien backdrops. But again, I thought it was pretty hilarious. They had so many people that were just ready to storm it. And they were like, don't do it. Just don't. It's not okay. You can't be there.
A bunch of people got shot. I'm kidding.
They would have, probably. Just line a bunch of fire trucks and just blast them all with the hose.
Run them over with fire trucks.
I don't know. You went a dark route, bud. That's a conspiracy theory. The fire truck massacre never happened. All right. So we've only got 6 more? So
yeah,
we
got 6 more.
And then, all right.
All right. So the next conspiracy theory is the moon landing.
Oh.
Yeah. The Apollo 11 moon landing happened on July 20th, 1969.
No, it didn't.
And it was one of the most astonishing achievements in human history. That day, an estimated 530 million TV viewers watched the U.S. astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin take their first steps on the moon.
Yeah, you don't watch American Horror Story, right?
Nope.
They just had their newest season ended, and it kind of talked on that. It was kind of funny, but anyway.
So afterward, the 2 men and the 3rd crew member, Michael Collins, flew away back to Earth and landed in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Cool. Yet, just years later, some people claimed the giant leap of mankind had been a giant leap of fake. Conspiracy theories that the moon landing was actually a hoax that the U.S. government had staged to win the space race with the Soviets began to gain traction in the mid-1970s.
We couldn't bear thinking that we had lost that race.
Yeah. Although these claims were false and easily debunked, they have persisted to this day. Some of these claims of the moon landing experts, or some of these claims included, I picked out a few that I liked, is the American flag in the video when they put the American flag on the moon.
Right.
It appeared to be flapping in the wind. But how can that be since there's no wind on the moon?
Huh.
Yeah. Another one is when they took a picture of them on the moon, or whenever they were on the moon, you couldn't see the stars. But this ended up being because the exposure of the camera wasn't on there long enough to pick on the light from the stars.
Oh.
So, and another thing they point out in some of the pictures is the shadows appear to be at weird angles on there. But again, I mean, all of these can be easily debunked. If you want to look into it, if you want us to cover this in more detail, we can. I don't know.
That's fake. Why? Them shadows are just weird.
Them angles.
I don't like them angles. They're a little weird. Fake. Fake news.
So the next one is the shape of the Earth.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm pretty sure this is going towards the flat Earth theory, so that's what I covered.
Yeah.
So the idea of the Earth may be flat can be traced to the Bible, in which the Earth is said to have 4 corners. Maybe they meant like Wyoming or something. I don't know.
It's like what? Arizona, Utah, Idaho.
This state has 4 corners. Many Christian religious scholars were a strong proponent of the flat Earth theory. In the medieval era, people believed that they would fall off if they ventured beyond the horizon. The flat Earth theory was discredited after explorers had circumnavigated around the Earth. Many scientific scholars also proved that the spherical shape of the Earth through tests. But the idea of the flat Earth began to resurface in the 19th century, especially from the people who wanted to return to the biblical literal interpretation of the world. The most famous flat Earth theorist was the British writer Samuel Burley Robotham, who lived through 1816 to 1884, who believed that the Earth was an immovable disk with the North Pole at the center, and an ice wall replacing Antarctica that served as the outer boundary of the flat disk. The Flat Earth Research Society was established in 1956 by Samuel Shenton in the UK.
The Flat Earth Research Society.
Yeah.
FERS.
They're just here to research and get the information out there. The idea of the flat Earth was thought to be limited to a few people, mainly in the UK. But the idea started to become popular worldwide with the advent of the internet and social media sites such as YouTube. The Flat Earth Society was relaunched in 2009 to purport the idea that the Earth was flat. So, that's just a basic thing of flat Earth people. All right, the last thing I'll cover is the Bilderberg Group.
Ooh, never heard of them.
Really?
Never heard of Bilderberg.
Up to 150 of the world's wealthiest and most powerful political leaders attend the annual event. The attendees include royalty, presidents, prime ministers, chief executives, and major international conglomerates, media moguls, and world bankers.
Oh.
The first Bilderberg meeting was held during 1954. The organization was founded with the intent to create powerful connections between European countries and North Americans. The meeting is a secretive, informal discussion about global trends with open communication between the elite members of the world who have massive influence in world affairs. No statements of any kind are allowed to be made to the press regarding the proceedings or what is talked about at the meeting. There are no meetings minutes taken, and no reports of the discussions or official statement about the discussions is produced or made.
Yeah, because they're like, don't write this shit down.
Yeah, this is secret shit. People get pissed if they hear us. Anything learned at the meeting can be freely used by any of the members. However, no one is permitted to talk about it. So they might go like, hey, Britain, we're all going to go solar next year.
Like
so invest in solar.
No one talks about Fight Club.
I talked about it. So at this group, more than 400 heavily armed guards are there to protect the attendees.
Damn.
The event space is hardened with physical barricades and high levels of security. It is this level of high security combined with extreme secrecy which makes the conspiracy theorists go wild with speculation about what actually they do at the Bilderberg meetings. Only those who are invited are permitted to attend the meetings. Everyone invited sees a major career boost after attending the Bilderberg meetings. Bill Clinton attended while he was governor of Arkansas, and within a year he was president of the United States. Tony Blair became prime minister of the UK 4 years after going to his first Bilderberg meeting. Alex Jones from InfoWars consistently rants on air about the evils of this group. From his point of view, everything which appears to be happening in the world from normal methods is actually the result of behind-the-scenes manipulations by members of this group. There are historical precedents for some of what he says, such as a false flag event in the Gulf of Tonkin that brought the USA into the War of Vietnam. There is no questions whatsoever that the members of the Bilderberg are extremely powerful and can do many things, especially if they coordinate their efforts. The question is, what exactly are they coordinating their efforts to?
If you are among the most powerful and wealthy in the world, what are your limitations?
What would you want? Is the question.
I don't know. I mean, if you've got the means to have whatever you could want, what do? You meet with a group and get things that you can't legally have.
No, I don't.
Just kidding. You can edit that out.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a few of these secretive groups that have been rumored to get together.
Yeah. This one's super official, though. It's a real group.
Super official.
What they talk about, we don't know.
All right. So we're going to round it out with our last 3 of the episode. So we'll start with transhumanism.
Reminds me of you.
Okay. Can't afford transhumanism. Transhumanism is essentially a philosophical and intellectual movement which advocates the enhancement of the human condition by making sophisticated technologies that greatly enhance longevity, mood, and cognitive abilities.
He's a robot!
This idea dates pretty far back, with quests for the Fountain of Youth and the Elixir of Life, which were both big efforts to stave off the effects of aging and death. So, I personally think it's a fascinating subject because death is such a natural thing. The idea of trying to prolong or even stop that process just seems really wild to me.
Yeah.
It kind of begs the question, would you live forever if you could? If someone said, hey, would you like to live forever, would you do it?
I think I'd be okay dying.
Yeah. What if they said we can... how much longer would you live if they offered you? If they said, hey, any amount of years you would want to live, how long do you think you would live?
There's so many variables in that. I don't know.
It is. Because, you have to think about, obviously...
Quality of life.
Quality of life. You have to watch everyone else around you die, I guess. That's why I couldn't live forever. But, if someone said, hey, a few hundred years, I might do it.
Yeah, I could do a couple hundred.
Because, at that point in time, your house would be paid off.
What would you look like, though?
Exactly.
What's the aging process? Would you look like some, Gollum? Is that
that's
the character?
Where transhumanism comes in. Because, at that point in time, it's not your natural body parts. It's not your natural organs, right? You've obviously had some additions and upgrades to your body and everything. So that's kind of where transhumanism comes from. So... early transhumanism thinking actually wasn't very accepted, was even described as blasphemy or perversion, and was indecent and unnatural because people just didn't like the idea of adding to you to prevent the inevitable death. So yeah, anyway, so I don't know. I think that maybe living a couple hundred years, if I could have a couple people do it, but living forever, you just hit a point where it's what's the point? Because you could infinitely save money and... you'd still never hit Jeff Bezos, but status, or Elon Musk. But so I don't know. What, is that too much?
No, that's just wrong. You're wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Infinitely. Oh, so okay. So they have how much money?
Compound interest is a hell of a thing.
Yeah, Elon Musk is worth $300 billion.
You live better than kings did 100 years ago.
$300 billion.
Bezos a king, but in 200 years, he's gonna be a peasant.
I guess that's true. He's gonna be dead in 200 years.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, that's the idea of transhumanism. It's just the idea of adding to yourself to prevent or delay death. Anyway, let's jump into the multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, the multiverse. This is another fascinating one. So, multiverse is a hypothetical group of multiple universes. Together, they comprise everything that exists, the entirety of space, time, matter, energy, information, and the physical laws and constants that describe them. The different universes that exist in this multiverse are called parallel universes, other universes, alternate universes, or many worlds. This idea fascinates me because it's so wild to try and wrap your brain around. Literally, you can have an infinite universe in which you exist in several different timelines and aspects and whatever. What are the other me's doing?
Could you imagine a portal opens up in front of you and you're just in awe, and you're like, wow. And this like old man walks out, and he goes, I have a question for you, young man. And you're like, what? And he's like, was it Berenstain or Berenstain, Bears? And you go, oh, it was Berenstain. He goes, thank you for your time. And he looks disappointed and walks back to the pool.
I'm like, hang on, wait.
Wait, I have questions. And he's gone.
Yeah, but I mean, it is. Like, I mean, obviously you have shows like, Rick and Morty comes to mind that constantly dabbles in the multiverse and all the different parallel universes and everything. And, I mean, I don't know. It's just, this idea has been recorded as far back as ancient Greece and the philosophy of ancient Greek atomism, which proposed the infinite parallel worlds arose from the collision of atoms. In 3rd century BCE, philosopher Chrysippus suggested that the world essentially eternally expired and regenerated, suggesting the existence of multiple universes across time.
Nice.
That's one I think another one you could spend so much time on, because just the idea of infinite multiple parallel universes, it's not something you can sit down and do in 5 minutes. But multiverse, that's another big one. Yeah. And then we will conclude on Ouija.
The Ouija?
Ouija board.
Oh, a Ouija.
Luigi. Waluigi. So, the magical board that allows you to breach the veil between our world and the afterlife, allowing you to have nice conversations with the dead. This is also something I covered in much more detail in the previous episode, so if you want the whole history behind it, please go back and listen. It'd be awesome. But the fabled Ouija board didn't start out as the scary haunted board that we all know today. It was made to bring families and friends together for a wholesome game night of laughs and magic. You can ask the board anything, and poof, you'd have your answer. It's a flat board marked with the letters of the alphabet, numbers 0 through 9, the words yes, no, and occasionally hello and goodbye. It came with a heart-shaped planchette used to glide across the board, spelling out the messages and replies to your questions. The board got its sinister reputation in the 20th century when the Catholic Church and the horror movie essentially rebranded the board to become what we know of it today. Freaking Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Several stories online talk of the board spelling out threats, causing the users to be haunted for days, weeks, or even years, and a lot of people refuse to even go near one. It's funny because I remember when I lived with my grandma when I was earlier, I asked her if I could buy one because me and my friend wanted to use one. She's like, no, you can't have it in the house. I was like, well, what the hell? Like, why not? I don't believe in that stuff. And she's like, well, I used it when I was a teenager, and she had a bunch of friends over, and I guess like she said that the board went flying across the room. So she's like, I won't do it again. I'm not gonna have it at my house. And I was like, all right, maybe it's just a cautionary tale. But I bought one and it didn't work. Anyway, so that is where we will end episode 1 of our conspiracy theory iceberg series, with a lot more to go.
So to put this in perspective, we're only halfway through tier 1. So we will be doing a second episode completing tier 1, and we'll just keep diving into the depths of this conspiracy iceberg.
And obviously it goes without saying that it's going to get more intense and more crazy, a little bit more outlandish. And again, obviously it goes without saying, but again, we are just the messengers here. We're just talking about these theories. So again, if there's anything that you believe or don't believe, please consult the professionals on those matters. And if you want some more research, you can reach out to us. We'll cover in more detail. But we definitely appreciate you sticking around, and we look forward to doing the next episodes.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. It's you viewers that really get us out there. We're not really recommended by the YouTube algorithm, so it's through you that we will grow. And as always, thank you for entering the abyss.
Until next time.